What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about my February earnings and how I made over $1,800 last month selling on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. Get ready. You heard that right, guys. So I went from in January selling about $300 to February where I made $1,800. Now I netted $400, $375 and change, and which means I spent out $1,400 on inventory. So gross income was $1,847.23. My expenses was about $1,420, give or take, and the remainder was what I netted. So already in a very good jump from what I did just a month before. And this is, now I just started doing eBay reselling, just started doing Facebook Marketplace really about a month and a half ago to 2 months ago. So I'm still relatively new to this whole game, still relatively low in the ratings, meaning that, you know, I don't have many reviews yet, I don't have many positive feedbacks or you know, feedback in general. The feedbacks that I have had, I was lucked out, and I've gotten 100% across the board from everything that I've sold, even on items that I've had issues with, whether it was shipping or just problems with the parts in general, where they're broken or not, you know, up to par with maybe what they were expecting to buy. So I was still able to get some very good feedback on those items, and the way I did that was by being a customer-oriented person. Regardless of what, you know, the issue may be, whether it was my fault, whether it was somebody else's fault, whatever it was, I always kept the customer in mind first. So whatever they wanted to do, I tried talking with them. I was personable. I was able to, you know, make deals and really just cater to what they wanted, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are paying for the product that I'm selling. So I have to be appreciative of that, and I have to make a note of that and actually, you know, promote a good business. So let's get into how I ended up making $1,800 in sales last month alone. I did this by first getting some smart products, sourcing some smart inventory, and I'll get to what I sourced in a second. And also by doing a little bit of spring cleaning around the house. And what I mean by that is I first looked for inventory that I can quote unquote donate to myself, to the business from myself. So I went around the house and I looked for anything that I either didn't use quite frequently or I didn't use anymore, and then I would list those things and try to make some money on it. So since it's a donation, I wasn't really considering it an expense on my part or on the business, because I didn't buy it for the business. You know what I mean? I'm keeping the account separate. So yes, I bought those products for myself, and I ended up spending money on those in the past, but obviously I don't have the receipts, I don't have anything like that, and I wasn't buying them in the first place to make money off of them. But from a business side of things, since I'm keeping that account separate, it makes logical sense where I didn't spend any money from the business side of things to get those products, so they're free donations. Now I'm selling them on marketplaces online, so I'm making just straight profit from them. I'm not spending money on inventory like I would if I were to go to a thrift store or look online for liquidation sites. And that's from the second source that I was talking about earlier. So I go on a lot of liquidation sites. I go, you know, pretty much across the board. I try to look on all of them to see what is available. Everybody has some different items available, and then I'll do some research into the products more specifically, and then go from there as to whether I want to make a bid on them or not. So I'll use liquidation.com. I use I don't know if I forgot what it was called in the past, but it's source.com now. I think it was bluelots.com maybe in the past, and now they became source.com. I use BoxFox. I think there's one more, but the name is escaping me right now. But if I find it out, I'll put it in the description below what they are. And you know, they have a pretty good user interface, and they show you exactly what is on sale now. You could either, things like BoxFox, you can buy pallets or packages right, like almost like eBay, where it's like a buy it now price, where it's not necessarily an auction. So some of these things are pretty good, but you have to do some calculations, because a lot of them, you know, they might seem very cheap, but then you go and look online, you have to do your research, because you'll look online on eBay at those items that are selling, and they're very cheap as well. So if you don't get enough quantity in the BoxFox pallet or package, it's not going to be worth it, and you might actually end up losing some money that I was doing, you know, with calculations. Because you also have to consider shipping costs, eBay fees, PayPal fees. If you're going to use PayPal, obviously the best practice would be Facebook Marketplace, since there's nothing there, or Craigslist or Poshmark, but not everything can sell on those platforms, and obviously eBay and Amazon are the two biggest platforms available right now to resellers. But for the most part, the biggest product that I sold last month was a Prusa i3 MK3. It's a 3D printer. This was a hobby printer that I had in my home, and I wasn't really getting too much use out of it, and I bought it a couple months ago. They sell it as a kit, so for $700 or so, you can buy the kit and build it yourself. They give you the assembly instructions and everything, and I did this, and I ended up selling it because I just wasn't getting enough use out of it. So I sold it for $750. I shipped it. It was about $33 to ship. Factor in 10% eBay fees was about $75. And then, yeah, this is where I ran into an issue. So yeah, this was one of the items that I ran into an issue with, because I sent it via FedEx. And when it got to the customer, he sent me pictures. He said, hey, this box is pretty banged up. It's not in good shape. Some of the parts on the printer are actually broken. So I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I packed it with foam. I packed it pretty well. It was a tight box, a tight squeeze, and if I could go back, I would use definitely a bigger box and package it much better. But I was trying to get, it's a pretty large item, so I was trying to save as much on shipping as I possibly could. And then he showed me some pictures. Some of the motor mounts were snapped, and all of them are made of plastic. So the good thing with the Prusa is you could buy all these items. They're very mod friendly, so modification friendly. So you can buy pieces, you can make your own pieces and use them and utilize them. That's what the whole printer is made of anyway. So it's a very cheap fix. It's not a big issue. He ended up keeping it. So I made a deal with him. I said, hey, look, I'll refund you, $50 or so for the parts. You can go and buy new ones, and we'll call it a day from there. So instead of trying to, ship the whole item back and then, me fixing it myself and doing all that. He was a really friendly guy, and he understood everything. So he wanted to keep the item anyway. It's a very easy fix, like I said. So he was happy with the $50, and we'll go from there. So I still netted, $700 to the business just with that purchase alone. So it was really a good chunk of change just for that one item. Note to anybody out there, the Prusa i3 MK3, if you buy the kit for $700 and you assemble it and it works perfectly fine, everything's new, you can sell them for up to $900 just by reselling online. The assembled versions, you can, if you go to the Prusa website, you can buy the kit or the assembled version. And if you buy the assembled version, they're selling it for $1,000. So, put in a little, if you want to put in a little time or effort, if you have that time, you can make a pretty good profit on each printer just by buying the kit, putting it together, and then selling it off. Just a little tidbit of information that I had there. But yeah, guys, I'm still looking around the house this month for some more items that I could put together on sale. I had a bunch of liquidation items that I haven't sold yet. They were all manufacturer refurbished with a warranty for 90 days. So that's pretty well. If you want to look on the eBay store in the link in the description, you'll see them. I just listed them 2 days ago now. So they're available for sale, and they're very, very cheap. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what March brings for me. But I don't know if I'll be able to match what I did in February. It was, like I said, that one item was a pretty big ticket item, so I don't know if I'll be able to match that. But if I can, I can. You never know. And the more reviews and ratings and feedback that I get on eBay, the higher I'll start appearing on the searches, so more people will be able to see my items and everything like that. So it can only get better from here, is what I'm saying. And I'm keeping my costs for the inventory pretty low. I'm still making a profit. For the year, I think I'm up $500, or it might be $425. I gotta look again on my spreadsheet that I made. And I got some other items that I reinvested in the business in the beginning of the month. I bought a postal scale for the first time, so now I could actually do shipping from home, and I could create my own labels and utilize eBay's discounted shipping fees, which should save me a couple dollars on each item, which is pretty beneficial for me. I wasn't doing that before. I was waiting in long lines at the post office, and it's a mess. So now now I'll be able to just package it, print it at home, stick it on there, and then drop it off right at the post office on the desk, and they'll take care of everything. So that will cut down on cost and time and everything tremendously, and I can't wait for that to take place. So with that, guys, I'll leave you to the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Like always, see you in the next video.